I really wish I could speak dog language because my little baby Bailey, who is my number one, he keeps pointing his nose to behind the cupboard, and I have contorted myself to try and see what's behind the tiniest gap. I'm like, there's no way a ball can be behind there. There's no way, I don't know, a toy can be behind there. But my little darling has just his nose pressed into a corner, and my heart's just aching because I want to get it, whatever it is. What is it, darling? Oh, now he's ignoring me. Okay, I'm sorry. You know I'd do anything for you, like legitimately would. But I can't rip the door off because I don't think there's anything there, buddy. I'll have a look after. Anyway, welcome back to the podcast, Legends. It's a very windy day, so if you can hear wind or swirls or a twister like ADM in the background, that's what's happening in old Melbourne town. But the sun is out and it's a beautiful day. It's actually been a really lovely week, especially for April. These seasons are definitely shifting, and I think we need to adjust when summer starts and actually finishes. Anyway, I would love to share with you a topic today, and it's on a very well-known phrase, mantra, and they're very simple words, and they are the words of "this too shall pass." 4 simple words, "this too shall pass." And I've been playing into them for some time now, but not just when life is shit, right? So I think that when life is shit, we very quickly adopt a "this too shall pass, this too shall pass, can't wait for it to fucking pass, I wish it would pass, when is it going to pass, when is it going to be over, I can certainly do that. And what I have been playing with is using that phrase in times when times are really awesome. Because what I have been noticing and what I have been aware of is that, let's use the girls, my stepdaughters as an example. When things are awesome and we've got connection and flow and laughter and dancing and whatever it may be, I can create an expectation that the rest of the night should be that way, or this should carry into the next day. So when they are in less than ideal states, the frustration and irritation can be larger. And then I go into "this too shall pass" when it's an irritated or jarring type of energy in the home. And I say this in times when it's awesome, not to shortcut joy or not to shortcut connection, but it is to prime that high expectation that I have of possibly myself, but definitely of others. It's to calm it down and just to remind myself, hey, this too shall pass. This moment of awesome connection, everyone vibing, everyone loving it. If I'm cooking dinner, usually what happens is the girls will come around and they'll sit up at the bench and they might be watching their iPad or something, but then we have chit chats and I don't know, we end up laughing about something, or I'm giving me a shit, and then Steve might come in and it's just a moment, right? It's just this moment. And whilst I'm in it and enjoying it, I remind myself, Kat, this too shall pass, and it is okay that it passes. Because I have a real knack of judging when things aren't like the moment that I've liked, that I've just enjoyed, that I've really embraced, that I've felt like supercharged connection. And when I go into that judgment mode, I get pretty harsh on others. And I then start thinking, oh, is this the right situation for me? Is this really good? Is this as good as it gets? And I was actually talking to my beautiful friend Nova about this, talking about like the bland and beige moments of life. So yeah, for some time I have been in the practice of this too shall pass, but when times are really awesome. You know, the other week I had some incredible news, which I can't share yet, which I'm finding very difficult because I do love to share stuff. But this one I do have to keep under wraps for a little bit of time. And the elation and the joy and the, oh my gosh, are you for real? Like, is this actually happening? Was all there. And I know that, and I'm sure, you know, if you're human, you can relate to this and maybe you're the same. Like, I never want that like awesome feeling to end, because then it's like, oh no, I've got to meet reality. I've got to meet reality where it's at. And sometimes meeting reality where it's at, it's like, oh, cool. Back to fucking folding the washing, back to emptying the dishwasher, back to telling the girls to not yell at each other, back to tell Steve to stop snoring or something. You know what I mean? Or back to checking my zero accounts on Monday and reconciling. I get it. I like, there's that part of me that attaches to that. Oh my gosh, the epicness, the awesomeness. And so then when life just comes back, well, it's always there anyway, but like life just comes back and is like, okay, cool. We got to keep going with life. And that's where I can get a bit, or I can get judgy of just the normal life, the everyday life. So I share this with you because I know very commonly we can use these 4 words, this too shall pass, for when times are tough, because we want that tough time to be over. And it's that reminder and calming down of the self of like, okay, even though it's intense, even though it's tough, even though it's rough, even though it's whatever language you want to use, this will pass, this will end, because that has stuff like this has happened before and it has passed and it has moved on. And it goes the same for when epic news comes in, or when a moment in your life is just so freaking magical that you wish it would last forever. You know that those times pass, and then Monday comes around and you got to go to work, or you got to whatever it may be, and the mundane-ness comes back, and that's okay. That's the part of the journey that I am in greater peace with. I think that for quite a while, and maybe it's my, you know, it has been my spiritual immaturity, in that, okay, you know, once this happens, then everything will be epic, or once I do that, then everything will be amazing all the time. And once this happens, then I'll have like nonstop requests coming through. And it's like, actually, it kind of isn't, it kind of isn't like that. You know, the mundaneness is there. The relationship mundaneness is there. The in interaction mundaneness is there. Like I said, I have come to a new layer of acceptance and okayness with that, rather than fighting it and wanting everything to always be awesome, but then always feeling let down, feeling like, uh, you know, I'm not living life to its fullest capacity. I'm not doing enough. I should be creating more epicness, and then not actually just being okay with life as is, you know. So maybe you're listening to this and you're thinking, fuck, this is also me. I too can have some pretty high expectations. I too want life to be big, bold, epic, and wonderful all the time. And like I said, my beautiful friend and I, we spoke about this the other week, and we're really just coming into that acceptance of like, life is beige, and you know, we color in that beigeness, and sometimes like life colors it in for out, like in for us, and then other times we color it in, and then other times it's legit just beige. And sometimes when it is beige, but then we force the color, we force the epicness, we force the awesomeness, we force oh my gosh, I want it to be spectacular, that's where I think we set ourselves up to fail. And we feel let down, we feel underwhelmed, we feel bored. And then we can actually start nitpicking at our lives when it doesn't need to be nitpicked at. So, if you're listening to this and if you are in shit times, 100% continue to use these four very simple yet grounding, powerful words. This too shall pass. But also in times where you can feel yourself having an awesome moment, you're in the awesome moment and you're like, oh, I don't want this to end. I want to hold on to it for as long as I can and savor it. Like that is a beautiful thing. But then when you can feel yourself becoming a bit of a stage 5 clinger to that, and then when you wake up the next day and the epicness isn't there, and like I said, you wake up and it's just another day, and you get on the tram or you get on the train or you go and get your coffee and people are fucking tooting their horns because they're angry in the world, and you come home and there's no email that was there like the day before offering something amazing. These words will also serve you to remind you that whether good or whether bad or whether epic or whether not so ace, it is all a temporary state. And if we can have greater comfort and acceptance for that temporary state, I believe we set ourselves up less to be underwhelmed and upset, judgy, and I say that because they are definitely the feelings that I experience whenever I do that. And certainly what I have been in the practice of with being in a family. It's interesting because when I was a kid and my brother and I would fight, like we would literally fight and then we'd be best mates afterwards. But coming into a family that's pre-made and then seeing the girls like, oh my gosh, totally go off at each other. And the next minute they're sitting next to each other and like, hey, can you pass the tomato sauce? I'm like, what the actual fuck? Me before, I'm like, oh, we need to sort out this and we need to sort out that and we need to like have a chat about this. And it's like, no, it all just passed. The anger, the rage, the hate, it passed. And now we're in peace, and know that this peace is also going to pass. So once again, my family have been great teachers for me. And oh, okay, cool. So don't wish for the anger and the hate to get over so quickly, because know that it will pass, because it has for the last 6 years passed every time. Sometimes it lasts a little longer. But also when the peace is there, it's like, oh, wow, enjoy it for what it is, but don't expect it to be like that for the rest of the day, or for the rest of the week, because like I said, that's where I let myself down, because the standards are too high. And so the fall is absolutely great, way too great. So remember, life it's messy, it's roller coastery, it's up and down and all around. And it's like, how can I best find center, experience center, or be as close to it as I possibly can during the wild ride of life. And like I said, in those high times, wonderful times, awesome times, it will pass. That's normal. That's okay. In the tough times, it'll also pass, So I share this to use these 4 very special words for all states of life, not just when shit's negative. And if I just full circle the absolute shit out of this too shall pass, Bailey. Whatever is behind that door, your need to know what it is and my need to know what it is to make you happy, it will pass. Oh, man, he's just so cute. Anyway, you get my drift. Use these 4 words in all states of your life and just notice and observe whether you can really feel the less intense fall if you do create high expectations for yourself, for life, and for others.